Hey there, gamers. Do you ever go back to one of your favorite series and decide you want to go through the whole thing again from the start? Isn't it nice when it's as easy as reading a number on the box and counting up to go in order? That's where the Yakuza series really gets it right. Yakuza, Yakuza 2, Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4, Yakuza 5, Yakuza 6. Nothing to get mixed up about here. Oh, but wait, they made a prequel. That should really throw a wrench into things, right? Actually, no. They were smart enough to call the prequel Yakuza 0. So you know where it goes, right before the first Yakuza. Gotta hand it to you, Sega. You really knocked it out of the park with this one. What the fuck? Infinity? We skipped every number to infinity now? And it's not called Yakuza either? Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. Let me explain. So, in Japan, the series was always called Ryu ga Gotoku, which literally means like a dragon. You might recognize that phrase from the RGG Studio logo. Well, when they were bringing the games over to the US, they realized the name was really weird by English naming conventions, and Grand Theft Auto was really big at the time. So they had the idea to make the game seem more GTA adjacent by calling it Yakuza after the real-life organized crime gangs of Japan. The game's all heavily focused on the Tojo clan, which is a fictional Yakuza family, so it really made perfect sense and ended up sticking. Well, the series originally struggled and settled in as a niche cult franchise in the West, appealing mostly to the societal outcasts known as PS3 owners. But things changed with Yakuza 0, a multi-platform release that broke the series into the mainstream. That was followed up by remakes of the first two games. Now here's where a bit of confusion starts. The remakes of the first two games are called Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2. At least they used a number, but if you don't know better, you might think that these are a spin-off series. Still, not too bad. Later came multi-platform releases for 3, 4, 5, and 6, and in just a few years, it's now one of Sega's flagship franchises globally. So they decide now that everyone knows the series, they don't need to refer to it by a different title outside of Japan, and decide to marry the titles with the 7th installment by calling it Yakuza Like a Dragon. Okay, fine, that's cool and all, but why the fuck is it not called Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon then? And why the fuck is the 8th one not called Like a Dragon 8? Yeah, I get it, an infinity symbol is an 8 turned sideways, but it's still pointlessly confusing. Now we're getting a new one called Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii? So, okay, we're bringing back the Yakuza part of the title, but it's not a sequel to the last game that had Yakuza in the title. It's kind of a sequel to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but will probably be more like a spin-off than a mainline entry? What are they trying to tell me with this title? To pirate Yakuza? Then why do they include Denuvo with all these fucking games? Oh man, speaking of spin-offs, don't even get me started on those. Okay, so the main series has confusing names because of regional title differences, right? Well, at some point they started a spin-off series about this detective guy, and the series is called Judgment. Alright, so guess what they called the sequel? Go on, guess. Judgment 2? No, of course not. It's called Lost Judgment. There's no regional difference excuse this time, they just didn't put a number in the title for no reason. At least the Japanese got shafted on this title too, with the original being called Judge Eyes, The Grim Reaper's Will, and the sequel being called Lost Judgment, Unjudged Memories. Some of the spin-offs are fine, like you've got Yakuza Dead Souls and Like a Dragon Ishin, which are just standalone things that don't connect to the other games, so it makes sense to title them like that. But then you've got shit like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Damn, talk about a mouthful. With a title like that, this has gotta be some kind of mysterious story about a new, enigmatic character, and his backstory's gonna unfold as we play. No, it's about Kiryu again. It should have been called Yakuza 6.5 because that's what this one fucking is. How are people supposed to know that's where it goes on the timeline? And it actually has important canon story information in it too, so if you skip it on accident because it's so fucking confusing, you'll miss out. So, to summarize, let's make a timeline. If you decide you want to play all these games in order, not counting the non-canon spin-offs, it starts easy because you start at 0 and count your way up to 6. substituting the remakes for Yakuza and Yakuza 2 if you want. Then, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Oh wait, but don't forget, Like a Dragon Gaiden actually happens in between Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Except the end part of that game actually is like parallel with Yakuza Like a Dragon, so maybe you want to play it after that one. Anyways, after that comes Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And finally, you're ready for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Oh yeah, Judgment and Lost Judgment get crammed in there somewhere too, because even though they're not directly connected, they take place in the same world, so they belong on the timeline. Anyways, Judgment goes in between Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Like a Dragon, and before Like a Dragon Gaiden. And Lost Judgment goes in between Yakuza Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Yeah, clear as mud, right? By the way, there's a mobile game that might be canon too, but I've had enough bullshit for one video. I'm out.